Let them know what how you do anything is how you do everything means to you. This is Wealth Principle 39. Share it with somebody. Share it with a lot of people. Next up, let's do Terry Wager.
There's another book. The Way You Do Anything is the Way You Do Everything. My coach, Suzanne Evans, wrote the book, and it's a phenomenal book, really targeting this principle specifically. The thing I think about, Walter was talking about investing. When I think about how you do anything is how you do everything, I think about saying yes. And the idea is so many people have been habitually saying no to themselves and to opportunities and to anything in the world. It's automatic. You ask somebody something, the first thing they think of habitually is no. And then they have to think themselves or think about, weigh the options for yes. So when I think about investing, the first thing that you want to invest in is yourself. And so as I'm looking at that, when I invested in my coaching, I was investing in my business and I was investing in my coach's business to help other people and to help me move forward. And so every dollar I spend in coaching is investing in two businesses at one time. It's compound effect kind of idea. The next part that I think about is as I invest in other people's things, invest my time, invest my energy, I build partners. And so when I'm thinking about how you do anything is how you do everything, I think about yes is the number one thing I want to start doing everywhere. And so what are you saying no to? What are you depriving yourself of? What are you depriving other people of by stepping away from the interaction? When we start to say yes, our whole world opens up. And so think about that as you go through. A second little piece that I want to really identify, a bone that I pick as much as I can. There are huge numbers of books out there about habits. And I keep hearing about habit. Oh, it's a habit to talk about habits. Now, the thing is habits always move us to comfort. And so I want to put this idea, I want to burn it into your brains that there's a difference between routines and habits. Anybody who works out, any of the gymnasts, any of the Olympic athletes, they get into routines to train themselves moving forward. And the habits are what they're trying to get rid of in using their routines. So I want really people to start thinking about that as routine is moving us forward towards our goal. Habit is really moving us around a comfort. And whenever we're moving towards comfort, we're saying no. So start saying yes and start using routines because that is going to move you forward way faster.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. Who was at the summit and got to enjoy some of Dr. Terry Wager's training on goals? Awesome. Who sat down, had a momentum call with Terry, got to learn a little bit about the program, what we were doing? Awesome. Excellent. And I know he was successful because many people moved forward because Terry's good at finding and identifying a path for people. So here's something that Terry was just talking about. Yes and no. Now, to get to a level of success and to hit a routine and to change some of those habits, you suddenly have to say no to things that you've been saying yes to. And that change makes a big difference. So when we say yes to more opportunities, let me give you the example. As I became more successful, it was because I started saying no to things I used to say yes to. And I started saying yes to things that I used to say no to. And the more successful I've become, the more audience I have, the more people in the community, the more I've had to go back and reevaluate what I say no to. Because in the past, I would always say no to partnerships, take too much time from me. It wasn't the right thing. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to adjust. For some time, some things may have to be no's. And for sometimes, some things that you normally wouldn't like are going to have to be yeses. The habits that lead back to the comfort zone are a no. The routine that leads you to where you want to go, to your goals, to the better life, to the better relationships, to the better health, to the better business, those you say yes, absolutely. And yes may be uncomfortable at first, but I want you to learn to get excited about it. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Mitch Jorsky, the crypto cat, you're up.
I hope no one was watching me in the last 20 minutes of this call because you might have seen anger because how you do everything, right? Or how you do anything is how you do everything. And when you fall off that wagon, oftentimes you regret it. Hence the text message that had me steaming out of my ears during this call, because I treated a tenant differently. Treat your real estate business as that, a business. So you give people the benefit of the doubt and then you regret it. And that's not to say you shouldn't, be good to people, but you still need to treat it like a business, hence the trust but verify. So it's like, sweet. Yeah, you're a cool guy and you don't seem to be a problem. The other tenants are the problem. We'll focus on them. You know what you need to do. You just you know, get out of here by X date. And here we are, still not gone, and talking about apartments that he's looking at he doesn't like. And I want to be like, well, it's better than being homeless, but you don't say that because that's mean. So, case in point, I will be filing for eviction on Monday because I already gave the 30-day notice, which I gave 30 days after I should have, because giving him the benefit of the doubt. And what did I do? I didn't, how I do anything, I do everything. I skipped it for this person. And that goes back to trust but verify. So you can be good to people, but that doesn't mean you still shouldn't be running your business by the books. And I don't know. That's just me venting and I guess turning it into a lesson. The lesson was going to be, we mentioned the net worth tracker. We mentioned like even routine. So like me in particular, like me and routine are not friends, which probably isn't a good statement to say, but we're not. Like I like living very spontaneous. Each day is a little different, but I know there's a cost to that. And there's some stuff that I've turned into a routine because you will have more success with whatever word you want to use, habits, routine, whatever the F it is. The bottom line is, though, these things lead to success. There's a reason like the Miracle Morning, has created success for people. As much as I know I'm never going to do the Miracle Morning, I might do Miracle Midnight, which still seems like a book I should write, but you need these things in your life, right? So you can have success, I feel like, in anything in life to an extent. But if you want to level up, you need to embrace that. Like how you do anything is how you do everything. And a big part of that is having in, routines and or habits or whatever word you want to use that push you forward because it's giving you that regular progress. And case in point, net worth tracker as an example. I didn't look at the net worth tracker for 7 months. Yes, I'm sharing this confession. And I just did it like a month and a half, like a month ago. I'd done it. I'm about to do it again at the end of this month. And what I noticed is over that 7 months, my net worth barely moved. I had this progress that was kicking ass, like 2019, 2020, early 2021. And then all of a sudden, barely moved. And I was like, that's creepy, kind of scary. Like, there's no way that's got to be a coincidence. But again, when you pay attention to it, you have your eye on the prize, you keep that momentum. And when you're not paying attention anymore, you lose that momentum, right? And it goes back to the compounding effect. Momentum is something that fits into that compounding by keeping that momentum. So like when you take your eye off the goal, you take your eye off the prize, you sort of lose the momentum. So keep that routine. And at this point, I will stop babbling.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. Doug McGurk.
The Maximizer. So, wow, so much to unpack here. Everyone is so brilliant. One of the things that maybe a hack would be helpful, right? Because to Terry's point, again, where Mitch pointed out, there could be some semantics here. It's really a relationship with that word, right? So if you want to call a habit a good thing, that's fine too. We don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole. Whether it's routine, ritual, system, all of that. But a couple of things. One, how many of y'all who did go to the summit felt like motivated, felt like, on top of the world, you were unstoppable and all that? How many of y'all felt great? Like, you're like, holy crap, I feel incredible. I'm just feeling the love and all of that. And then we come back home and the drift sets in. Some of those old habits, routines, ritual, whatever it is. And to Terry's point, we just want to watch Are these behaviors, are these patterns, are we doing it for like comfort, distraction? Is it taking us further from our goals or taking us closer to them? Now, one of the hacks that you and I can implement, and you're doing it now, is so you went to the event, and that's incredible. You invested in yourself, your time and energy, and you're feeling on top of the world. And you made decisions and you were taking action. How many of y'all took more action at the summit than you did on a regular basis? How many made more calls, met more people, felt more inspired, took more notes, all of that, right? Because you were feeling awesome. One of the challenges that you and I face when we are looking to create new rituals, new routines, new patterns is if our relationship with those patterns, if we're feeling negative about them, if we're feeling frustrated about them, if we're feeling anything non-resourceful around them, then we start going, ugh. Now we start attaching negative emotions to it, and we're fueling. If you remember the day we started, we talked about the emotional fuel. We're now filling ourselves with emotional fuel as we are doing the new pattern, but we're doing it with crap fuel, and then we're not able to maintain that momentum. So that's why it's so important and valuable that you're part of this process. You're on the calls. You've got the support to keep us going. And then the how you do anything, how you do everything mindset of imagine the Michael Jackson, always feel like someone's watching me. If we're behaving the way we would as if we're being watched all the time, if we're, one of the benefits I think of doing all your social media stuff is it creates a natural accountability anyway, because you're declaring it and now people are holding you to that standard. But even if you were not necessarily ready to do that now, you could also be able to think in terms of imagining people were watching. So what behaviors, what patterns, what routines, what rituals, whatever it is you want to start incorporating. To Doreena's point, start small. Don't try and eat the elephant in one bite. And do it in a way, get yourself in a positive, resourceful, excited, grateful, proud, whatever any of those states are that are going to keep you moving forward, that it rewards you real time. Because, without getting too, there's a whole other rabbit hole. We've got these 4 kind of ways we behave: something that feels good and is good for us, something that doesn't feel good but is good for us, something that feels good but is not good for us, so we get that dopamine rush, and then something that doesn't feel good and is not feeling good, or is not good. And Oreos and beer would be the feels good but not good for us. But our brain goes, aha, that felt good. So it wants to do more of it. So the way you hack your brain, you hack your mind, is to get yourself into a powerful, resourceful, confident, grateful state as you take those actions and reward yourself real time. And then what'll happen is your brain will then start going, let's do more of that. And then you'll get the long-term benefit as well. And that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. It's like getting back to the summit, isn't it? So powerful. And what Doug said is so true. Take actions, take the right actions now. And learn how to communicate better and be willing to get into that discomfort zone and get really, really comfortable living there. When things are uncomfortable, man, that I'm at my happiest. And I've seen it in Ron when we're in our business meetings, when the shit hits the fan, the proverbial shit hits the fan, Ron gets a little nervous and I'm like, yeah, man, like new challenge. I have no idea how to raise $1 million. Let's go get it. And those experiences got better over time. It started with 26,000, how to raise 26,000. Then it was how to raise 200,000. Then it was how to raise 300,000. Then it was raise $1 million. Who knows that it starts with incremental steps of discomfort. And it probably at some point was how to raise $5, right? Y'all did it as a kid and we just maybe stopped at a certain point. So you can continue to find the resources that you require to move yourself forward. Patrick Sullivan, go ahead, brother.
Living your life and doing the things that you want to do and realizing that you don't necessarily have to do them the way everyone else does them, so little things. And ticks that people have. If people hang around me a lot, they'll notice I do a lot of things really, really weirdly, and it's always very repetitive and stupid things. And some people start doing them. Like if I ever go to a Wendy's or something and I get a drink, I don't ever take the cup on top. I take that one off. I take the next one. I put that cup back because the top cup's disgusting. And it's dumb things like that, that it's a repetitive action that to me, it makes sense and it works better. And it's the same thing in business and how I look at things and how I analyze stuff. And it's those same little ticks of things that I have decided are 1% better, because not everything you do has to be a monumental increase and to make things better. It doesn't have to be this glaring night and day. If you make everything in your life 1% better, then everything will be a lot better.
You're up.
Immediately went to the fact that I'm a long-term investor, that I invest over the long term in every area of my life. I've been with my wife for 20 years. I invest in stocks and I don't ever sell them. I buy real estate to hold. I don't. And so how you do anything is how you do everything. Everything I do long term. So a lot of times people say, hey, you want to do a flip with me? And I've done them, but it's not my normal way of being. And so it may not be like a habit or a routine that you're talking about. It may be mindset. And my mindset is that everything I do, I'm committed full in for the long term. And that has really served me well.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. That is such a powerful lesson, such a powerful principle. And I know why Mike does the flips. Long-term relationship with the partner.